With us now from his district in Northeast Arkansas is Rick Crawford. He is the chairman, in fact, of the House Intelligence Committee. Mr. Chairman, I want to start on those terror attacks that we just heard about. They appear to be lone wolf style actions. Is there any reason for us to think otherwise?
Well, I think you can look at the common thread there. Obviously, they're kind of, even though they may be considered lone wolf at this point, there are some commonalities there, and obviously the religious affiliation that they have and the targets. So I think that, I'm not trying to raise the alarm, but this increased anti-Semitism is rampant, out of control, and we need to not just dial it down, we need to do something about it. So what we have is the need for increasing our CI posture here in the United States, counterintelligence, counterterrorism posture, and making sure that these kinds of things don't happen anymore.
Okay, I want you to listen to what the president said about the possibility of Iranian state-sponsored terrorism and sleeper cells.
Have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now?
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border. But we know where most of them are. We've got our eye on all of them, I think.
All right, Mr. Chairman, if the government knows where these people are, why wouldn't they have been taken into custody already?
Well, that's a good question. We don't know what we don't know, but we do know if there are sleeper cells present, you're going to see, a concerted effort to bring them to heel, and that may have already taken place, and we just haven't sent out a press release on it. And so, the thing about this type of activity is it doesn't necessarily need to be on the front page to be effective. So if we're disrupting CI networks or CT networks, it doesn't necessarily need to be talked about. We just need to exercise on it and take care of it because if we do elevate this to the public discourse, it creates the effect that they want. Mm-hmm. And I think our CT professionals and our CI professionals know that, and they're taking this problem to task, and they're going to go after those cells if and where they exist.
Okay, on the possibility of putting Marines ashore on Iran's Gulf Islands, I assume that has to dramatically increase the chances for casualties beyond what we've seen so far. What kind of threat environment, as you understand it, would they face in doing that?
Well, there's a fairly sophisticated military presence in Iran, and all of it seems right now to be pretty disjointed. What we would like to see is obviously you have the sort of the mainstay of the Iranian military, and it's the IRGC. The history there, that came directly out of the Islamic Revolution in 1979. You've got the Quds Force that was developed in the late 80s, and they have sort of an expeditionary type posture. They're the ones that go out and recruit terror cells and proxies. And then you have the Artesh. That is the sort of the old school conventional military of Iran. They are not necessarily ideologically aligned. That's what we're hoping for, at least from my perspective, is that we start to see Artesh emerge as the preeminent military, and that gives us an opportunity for cooperation and collaboration in Iran that would probably help reduce any kind of casualties, things of this nature, and would probably be a really good ally against the IRGC and the Quds Force. And then you've got the besieged militia as well, kind of fragmented, but they are capable. But it's a fairly sophisticated military application in Iran.
Okay, Iran's foreign minister claimed to an American outlet that Iran is not just receiving intelligence from Russia, as we had previously heard, but that they are working in cooperation with both Russia and China. Is he bluffing here, or how real should we see that as being?
Well, I think we have to understand that China and Russia have been involved with Iran for decades. You've got Iran providing material support to Russia against Ukraine. You've got Iran providing oil and other resources to China, China providing military hardware and training to Iran, and all this sort of this network, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, So that's no surprise. I mean, this is not breaking news for him to say that. Whether or not they're continuing that level of cooperation that they had prior to these strikes, that may be questionable. But their relationship predates the strikes of recent weeks.
Mr. Chairman, we appreciate you. We appreciate your time. All right, America, if you were from Crockett's Bluff, Arkansas, you'd know him already. But if you don't, there he is, Chairman Rick Crawford. We thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.